And this is where Don and Sue go out for a pleasant evening.
That's the worst thing to do.
It's cool. We're in already. We're in. I'm here. Okay. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Darcy Stone.
That was a shit intro.
You're meant to start it.
Why am I meant to start it?
Because it's your podcast.
Yeah, but you're my guest and co-host, and not guest because you're my co-host.
Hi, this is the Lucha Pod podcast by
No,
Kosta
you've botched
K
it. You've botched
and
it already. You have botched
Darcy
it
Stone.
already. It's This Is Lucha Pod.
Oh, okay.
Or as Ned likes to say, This is Lucha Pod. That's a shout out to Ned. He understands. Wait, who's Ned?
No, we don't know.
No, we don't know a Ned. Shh. Kayfabe. So, yeah, this is Lucha Pod, and I am Kosta K, a former London Lucha League champion, I'll have you know. And I'm joined by Darcy Stone.
Hi.
Someone who I beat
A
in
future
a championship match.
champion.
No, I'm pretty certain I beat you, and you could have won it, and I might have injured your leg. But look, we're gonna put all that aside. We're gonna sit down. Well, we already are sitting down.
I need
And
to.
we're gonna chat lucha, all things lucha. It's a new podcast, and lucha. I've said lucha enough. Do you think Burridge will be happy that I've said lucha enough?
No, we need to say this is Lucha.
This is lucha.
Hashtag Brasgal.
Hashtag. All the hashtags. Do all your socials. Let's get that out of the way now. You can follow all of the socials. There's Triple L socials, London School Lucha Libre socials, Lucha Britannia socials. I'd name them all, but they'll be tagged somewhere where you can find them because there's just loads of them. Do you know them all off by heart?
Absolutely not.
No, me neither.
No, I don't.
I know mine at the Kosta_K on both Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, we plugging? Okay, mine is at Darcy Stone PW on everything.
Yeah, no one wants to follow you.
They
And,
do.
well, just, quick shout out. We're also joined here by Connor Rivers, former brother of Seduction.
Yay.
I say former because they've had some issues. You can say hello if you want, Connor.
Hi.
That's Connor.
That's enough from you, Connor.
He's growing his hair out.
He is.
It's weird. You shouldn't do that. You look better bald.
I like it.
Well, you would. No. But look, we're going to talk about everything Lucha on this podcast. We're pretty certain it's going to be a monthly podcast, I think. That's the plan.
Is
we're
it?
going to bring... Well, that's...
Okay.
We're kind of winging it. I don't know if you can tell. It's all being completely called on the fly, as they say in the biz.
Like most of your matches.
That's a good thing, isn't it? Why are you're saying that like it's bad?
Well, are you surprised?
It's old
Just
school,
because
innit?
I'm
Call it on the fly.
complimenting the way you work.
Oh, wow. That is a surprise. I'm not used to compliments, but cool.
Clearly not in gimmick right now.
Yeah, well, Fabe K. But, so we're going to talk about everything involving Lucha, as well as just everything generally Brit Wres related. The main topic, obviously, as I've said multiple times, is...
Lucha.
There you go. So, we're also going to have guests for you whenever we can. I've got a few special guests lined up. We'll keep them under our hats for now. Who do you think they could be, Darcy? Special guests.
Is it me? Wait, I'm on the show, aren't I?
I mean, you are pretty special. I'll give you that.
Wow, okay. I think maybe, let's see, who have the London School of Lucha Libre produced that could be worthy of this podcast? I don't know.
I mean, we've produced quite a lot of people from
Quite
the
a
London
few,
School of
yeah.
Lucha Libre. I mean, people like New Japan signee Will Ospreay.
Wow. Yeah, he'd be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, NXT UK signee Nina Samuels.
She is terrifying yet wonderful.
She is wonderful, and as is the current reigning and defending Progress Heavyweight Champion, Cara Noir.
Oh.
They could all be guests on this show, but we're not going to tell you when. Not just yet. Not until they're confirmed. But they will be confirmed at some point, probably. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's talk Lucha. So, on the 17th of January this year was the first Lucha Britannia of the decade, 2020. Lucha Britannia, were you there?
I know I wasn't actually, because I was literally having surgery that day.
We're not off to the best of starts, quite frankly. We're meant to be talking about the show, and you weren't at the show.
Why don't you sell it to me? Why don't you tell me what happened?
Well,
and
I will tell you what happened, because I was there. I was there, yeah, not performing. No. Because I'm not on Lucha Britannia.
No.
I'm Kosta K. Kosta K is not a member of the Lucha Britannia roster. I'll tell you who is a member of the Lucha Britannia roster. The winner of the Lucha Chaos match, the first Lucha Chaos match of 2020, is Scorpiano.
Oh.
Yeah. And she defeated Cloris, Trifidos, Bacon Jr., El Rey Nance, and Piranha.
All of them?
All of them in one match.
Well done.
The question, what are the rules of a Lucha Chaos match?
Do you know what? I don't think there are any rules.
Well, no one knows them, if there are any. But basically, Scorpiana won. Her and Cloris were a part of the... what's the faction name? Bush team. Team Bush.
Team Bush.
Team Bush, that's what I call them.
God, I want to be part of that.
Bush team.
Planty Boys.
The branch of...
Destruction.
That's the one. I was looking for that. No relation to the Brothers of Seduction. But yeah, so basically the two ladies turned on Trifidos.
Did they? I mean, he's had it coming for him, let's be honest.
But yeah, Bacon Jr. was also in there. Bacon Jr. now a member of the Lucha Britannia roster, former member of the London Lucha League roster. What do you think of that?
I love Bacon. He's like, I've been waiting for him to be in Britannia for so long, so I'm glad that he managed to make his debut.
He did. Well, he made his debut actually in December, from what I remember. But he was successful in that one, not so successful in this one.
There were a lot of people in the match, though, so you know.
There was. And then the second match, a match that I particularly enjoyed, involved the Neon Explosion Cassius.
My boy.
Teaming with Finbar Bakewell against Dark Britannico and Hombre del Roca, the Cult of Lucha Libre.
Wow, okay, well that's probably a lot going on in that match.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think I'm being biased here, but there's just something about that Hombre del Roca guy. He is just one sexy mofo.
How did I know this was going to turn into...
Oh, look, I'm a very honest guy, you know. I can look at somebody and say, you know what, that's a good-looking person. And
he wears a mask.
Yeah, but you just know under that mask is just the face chiseled by the gods.
Why is he wearing a mask then?
Well, because you're not worthy of seeing his face.
But he looks
look
like...
at you, then look at what he could potentially look like. Exactly.
But he looks like Iron Brew.
No, that's the colour of his outfit. It looks like Iron Brew. He doesn't look like Iron Brew.
But every time
no human being can look like Iron Brew.
Yeah, but I imagine...
So how does he look like Iron Brew?
If his mask was taken off,
why do you say he looks like Iron Brew?
He's going to be like...
Does he look like Iron Brew, though?
Yeah, but he might.
No, but he doesn't, though. Yeah, shut up. Anyway.
Let's talk more about Cassius, because I like him.
Yeah, so Cassius was in that match, and he, along with Finbar Bakewell, actually got the win on the Cult of Lucha Libre. So Finbar Bakewell is the cousin or brother, I'm not too sure, of Jerry Bakewell.
Yeah.
It seems to... I'm pretty certain they're brothers, or half-brothers at least.
Yeah.
But he is the Irish half-brother of Jerry Bakewell, who wasn't actually in town for Lucha Britannia in January.
Oh,
so Finbar was forced to team with Cassius. I say forced, I'm, not exactly a step down, teaming with Cassius.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that team?
I think that'd be quite exciting, really, because Finbar, we know he's had problems in the past with Jerry, and sort of Jerry's tried to... It's kind of a love-hate relationship where he's kind of tried to teach him how to wrestle, and Finbar's not really quite got it. And then we've seen a little bit of progression. But in my mind, I feel like, and judging by the result as well, that he'd be quite safe with Cassius. And there's a lot of character there, a lot of things that could go wrong but would potentially entertain everyone.
Well, something that was actually in that match that I wanted to pick up on, something I've never seen before. So at one point, Finbar had both Hombre and Dark Britannico down after they... I don't really know how to describe it. So basically, they kept trying to attack Finbar Bakewell, but he kept moving out of the way, and they ended up hitting each other on multiple occasions.
Classic.
Both knocking each other down. Finbar then ascended to the top rope, going for... Well, quite honestly, I don't know what, because he's never hit anything from the top rope. And somehow he managed to miss both of them, even though they hadn't moved. Right. They were both just laying right in the middle of the ring, and he missed both of them completely.
That's impressive, though, to be fair.
Well, I mean...
It's not great, but it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat impressive. It's never been seen before. People always talk about in wrestling, do something different. So, Yeah, I suppose, missing your opponents is always...
Did he overshoot
different.
them, or what
No,
happened?
he got the middle of the ring.
Wow.
They were both lying in the middle of the ring, but there was
What
a
are the
gap
odds?
between them, and he landed in the gap and completely missed both of them. And lucky for him, all I'm going to say is lucky for him, he was teaming with Cassius, and Cassius managed to make the best of the situation. He hit the finish, the neon explosion, and Finbar Bakewell actually got the pin on Hombre del
My
Roca, former
goodness.
Lucha Britannia champion.
What do you think that means then for Finbar?
It means literally nothing, because at Lucha Britannia we live in the retro futureverse and anything can happen at Lucha Britannia. Next month this month now, it's February now, so this month Finbar will probably get a telling off from his brother Jerry when he is back, I would imagine.
Oh gosh, I'm sure.
Costing the Cult of Lucha Libre a match, of which Jerry is a part of.
Go on, tell me about I was going to ask when the next show was, but we can do that later.
The next show is it's the third Friday of every month. So I don't have a calendar with me.
Oh.
Connor's going to look it up now.
Go on, Connor.
Our tech guy with big old headphones on.
Suit him, actually. I like it. New hair, headphones.
21st of February.
There you have it, 21st of February.
Friday.
So after that match, we also had Santeria along with his new manager K-Rod, and they Santeria fought off 2 students from the London School of Lucha Libre, and those students are now known as a team known as the New Blood, and they actually just were a part of a big match on the London Lucha League show this past weekend.
They were. Do you know what? I haven't... Because obviously I haven't been training, because obviously my knee is...
It's just excuses though, isn't it? Really? Your knee.
I'll do it! I'll do it!
Do it then, innit?
No,
don't.
Greg won't let me.
Safety first.
Yeah, so I haven't been training, and I only popped down to the Resgal for shows and things like that, and when if you've been out of the scene for a while and you go down to training, you don't know anyone there. It's so much young blood, weirdly. Nice segue.
Clever.
Welcome. And so I saw them, we'll get to the Triple L show obviously, but I saw them on that and was so impressed. So I'm really glad that they got to make an appearance on Britannia. I'm assuming it didn't go that well for them. Well,
no, they faced Santeria, a multi-time Lucha Britannia champion and an absolute monster of a human. And yeah, they took a bit of a beating in that one. But, like you said, really impressive that they were able to get onto a Lucha Britannia show this early in their careers.
Yeah.
Goes to show, Greg Burridge and Gary Vanderhorn, who run the London School Lucha Libre, both see something in these guys and willing to give them that platform as a thank you for all that hard work that they're putting in at the school, which we will talk more about them in just a little bit when we get to the London Lucha League show. But after Santeria was done with them, he was confronted by another.
Oh.
Illusionisto.
Oh.
The magic man
boy.
of the London School of Lucha Libre / Lucha Britannia.
We've got quite a few magic people, but he's a little bit different, isn't he? He's just...
Yeah? How so?
He wears a cape.
Wow. He is the only one that wears a cape.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
You're a wealth of knowledge. Jesus.
So glad you invited me on, aren't you?
Yeah, so glad. Oh, God. But to be fair, it was either you or Malik. And
Malik. We haven't got enough bleepers to...
Well, it's not so much that, but we'd never actually talk about wrestling. He'd be too busy plugging away at how he's a rapper now, or how he's got a new career and all these other things going on, and how he's the best at everything.
He'd probably be able to spit us a good intro, though.
Actually, speaking of Malik,
it's
a good little segue right here. So I had an idea for a little segment for this show.
Go on.
I think I mentioned it to you briefly.
Yeah, I don't read your messages.
We need to come up with an actual name for it, though, which we'll come up with in the near future, but this is going to be a regular part of the show. It's basically, I'm going to tell you an anecdote about Malik.
Yeah.
And our listeners, and yourself, you guys can join in, feel free.
Ooh.
You guys have to decide whether you think it is fact or fiction.
Interesting.
Now, today's anecdote...
Oh, you've got one already?
Yeah, I've got one, it's here, I've got it. I've got an anecdote.
Hit me.
So, I recently went on a night out with Malik. And during this night out, let's just say, I won't say where we went, I won't say who we were with. I'll keep names out of it. But let's just say there was a stripper pole involved.
Oh God.
And Malik may or may not have ended up spending a long portion of the evening on said stripper pole, and at a couple of times during the night upside down on the stripper pole while wearing a three-piece suit. And on one particular spin of said stripper pole, Malik found himself spinning around it at the same time as another former Lucha Britannia champion.
Who?
Well, I said I'd keep names out of it.
No,
Cassius!
See, do you know what?
So, it's up to you guys. I mean, I'll let you say now whether you think it's true or not. And next week, or next time we record for episode 2, I'll reveal whether or not it was true.
So, we all know the Cassius bit is 100% true. Now, whether Malik would feel comfortable doing that, even though Cassius is going to be slaying it. But then, I want it to be true so bad. Like, the idea of him wearing... Because he's a fresh dresser, isn't he?
Let me reiterate what he was actually wearing. So, when I say a three-piece suit, he wasn't wearing the jacket. So
okay.
It was...
That was gone.
Yeah, no, there was no jacket. He had his nice trousers on, the vest, and the shirt.
How much... Were you all drinking?
Yeah, I mean, it was after the London Lucha League show. Or was it? Or am I lying?
And he went upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah.
And to quote him after he did all of this, in his exact words, this is the first Malik impression of the podcast. Yo, so that's another thing I'm fucking great at.
See, that sealed it for me. He did that.
Okay.
I think that's true.
Connor, what do you reckon, Connor?
I like Malik. I hope it's not true.
Why not? It's amazing.
Yeah, but he's got this idea of like a massive bruiser.
No,
not going to punch you in the face. But I've got a feeling it's true.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
2 for 2.
Okay, well there you go. You've heard it. You heard it here. Darcy thinks it's true, and Connor thinks it's true, and just go on social media at the Kosta_K on Twitter. Let me know what you think.
Also, if anyone wants to do any art depicting that particular scene, that would be great.
To be fair, that would be quite good, actually. That's a great T-shirt for Malik.
It is.
Just him upside down on a pole with dollar bills flying at him in his little suit, and with Cassius yeah, okay, yeah. Please, someone design that. Oh, mate, I'm gonna get that made. If no one else gets it made, I'm making it. But yeah, so. That's what were we talking about before that?
We got nothing matters anymore after that. Matters.
Oh yeah, so Britannia.
So
the last match on the Britannia, probably the most important match, was the championship match. Cara Noir, easily for me like the best wrestler that this country has right now. He defended the title against Disco Diablo, and he lost the title to Disco Diablo. Disco Diablo, who's been... I can't think of how long he's actually been on Lucha Britannia for now.
Over a year now, I think.
Easily over... Well, maybe 2, maybe a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
But in a really short space of time, he's become the most over babyface we've got, and that says a lot when Cassius is on a show. And I'm gonna get in trouble with Cassius for calling Disco Diablo the most over babyface on the show, but it's cool. They're both great. I love them both.
You can't help but because his intro is that D-I-S-C-O, isn't it?
Yeah, you kind of get enthralled in it.
Good.
You can't help but love it.
He's so charismatic.
And just him as a performer over the past year, he's just gotten so much better. And yeah, that match was just an absolutely unbelievable match. Just on the topic of Cara Noir, let's talk Cara Noir. What do you think? When I say Cara Noir, what comes to your mind?
Big old swan. I love...
Another great nugget of information there. Thanks for that, Darcy.
I'm going to start so many hashtags with my little sayings. I love Cara Noir. Adore him, always have. Always found him very intimidating to start. But I'm so glad that he's finally being recognised as one of the top wrestlers in the UK, because it's taken so long for people to, I think, probably understand what he's about. And because he is different, and sometimes the wrestling community doesn't really like different. The fans like to, stick with what they know, and he is so different. But I adore him. I think he's incredible. I don't remember the last time I saw a Duff match from him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, he's like the best wrestler this country has right now. He's one of the best wrestlers we've had for quite a while. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. Like, I've known him for almost 10 years now. And just seeing the changes that he's made in his professional career, just in like the past couple of years alone, it's been incredible. Like, when I first met him, he was obviously, a lot of people know he was doing black belt Tom Dawkins. And then that kind of gradually grew a little bit. He started getting a little bit of notoriety through a few promotions. But then it still wasn't really doing a lot for him. Like, he wasn't really getting a chance to show any charisma or character. He was being labelled as just, you know, kind of like a hell of a hand, I guess. Just like, you could put him in there with anybody, he'll have a great match, but he's not a top guy, he's not this, he's not that. But then I actually remember, I'm pretty certain it was pretty much all of 2015 or 16, it was one of the two. Like, we would travel, obviously we travelled together for so long. He spent almost a whole year in the car, just him coming up with this Cara Noir character. And the first place to actually let him do it was Lucha. Like, he wanted to try it out at Lucha, and he managed to, you know, present the idea to Greg and Gary, and eventually after, like, they all kind of, like, hashed it out and how he would do it and what he would want to do, they let him do it. And then, sure enough, after, you know, a few matches doing it at Lucha, a few places, other places seen it, I think Hope and XWA and IPW, just to name a few, like, they all saw it and got him on board, and now here we are a few years later, and he's the Progress champion, and as far as I'm concerned, the measuring stick of what a pro wrestler should be in this country.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's taken him, like, longer than it should have, but I'm absolutely thrilled for him. Yeah. Really. Genuinely am.
I mean, for me, like, he's... When you hear a lot of people, I mean, I'm guilty of it, I think a lot of people are guilty of it, where, like, you hear people complaining about, oh, you know, what have I got to do, like, I feel like I deserve this, I feel like I deserve that. Well, for a long time, he did deserve everything he's getting now, but rather than sitting around moaning about it, he did something about it. He just kept working and got to where he is now, and, you know, more power to him for that. And to go back on the topic of the actual match itself, the match he had with Disco Diablo, you know, if you pardon the pun, it was literally his swan song at Lucha Britannia, because for the most part, I don't think it's necessarily his last ever match at Lucha Britannia, but it's, you know, going to be his last regular match there, at least, because now he's wanted everywhere. Like,
Swanted everywhere.
Oh god, get out. Oh, that was awful.
Yeah, going back to what you said about him, like, evolving as a person, I love the idea of him just sitting in a car, thinking of all these different things. Like, some of the best ideas do come from wrestling car journeys.
I remember one of the first time. So, you remember the egg?
Yeah, God.
So
I think we all do. Scarred into my brain.
Seen Cara Noir wrestle has probably either seen him do the egg thing live, or seen pictures or videos of it online. So I'm pretty certain I was the first person he ever told about this idea. I don't even want to call it a spot, because it's not a spot. It's just it's a thing. I remember getting in the car, and it kind of went quiet for a minute, and he just went, "So I've got this idea I want to run by you." And
is that your Tom?
Yeah, it's just Tom. It's like when Tom gets all serious, he's just like, "So I've got this idea." You know, and he'll take a couple of breaths. So then he starts telling me about this thing, and I'm listening, and then he's like, "So I'm going to get the egg, and I'm going to crack it in a glass, and then I'm going to tease pouring it." And I believe the first time he ever did it was against Stakely Bakewell at Lucha Britannia show. This is where, so just as a backstory here, Lucha Britannia is basically where Cara Noir has tested every fucking thing that you've ever seen him do outside of Lucha Britannia. Like, if you want to see, like, prototype Cara doing anything, you come watch him on a Lucha Britannia show, because you're going to see him do stuff that he's never done anywhere else yet. It's his testing ground.
Or just YouTube it from the old
there you go, cheap
Britannia.
Plug for the YouTube of Lucha Britannia. But yeah, so he was like, "I'm going to crack this egg in a glass, I'm going to tease pouring it in Stakely Bakewell's mouth, and then he's going to punch me in the stomach. He's going to pick up the glass, go to pour it into my mouth, change his mind, pour it in his own mouth, and then dribble it in my mouth." And that's exactly the noise that we had in the car, just this silence. And I just sat there, and I looked at him, and I went, why?
That is the first question you would think of, really.
And he just went, what do you mean? What do you mean why? And I'm like, why are you going to do that? And he went, because, it's a create a moment. And but like, I honestly can't remember the actual reason why he gave me, because I was just thinking about Gross and Egg and whatever. And I just went, yeah, I understand you've come up with your own warped psychological reason as to why, but I'm not asking why in terms of wrestling story why. I'm asking why as in, why on earth would you do that to yourself? It's raw egg, and it's raw egg, it's second-hand raw egg coming from this person's mouth to yours, and I was just like, mate, it's going to get exactly the reaction you want it to, but gross.
And, I do remember that reaction as well, because I was staring on in horror.
Yeah.
Slightly, a bit of awe as well there, but mainly horror.
Yeah, it was one of the most gross things
and
I've
you know
ever
what?
seen.
We all remember it and we all talk about it.
We do. But the only thing I'll say, though, is in a part of me... not wishes he didn't do it in that match, because a part of that's kind of what made that match so good. But the only reason I say I kind of wish he didn't do it in that match is because that match was so good on its own. Like, that, for me, that's probably one of the best Lucha Britannia matches we've ever had, him and Stakely Bakewell, and it is on the Lucha Britannia YouTube page.
Yeah, I'd definitely watch that.
I highly recommend
very,
going
very
back
good.
and watching that, especially as it is the first time you ever see Cara Noir do eggs. Gross. But yeah, that's pretty much everything to do with the last Lucha Britannia show, and a lot of segue on Cara Noir. But we can talk more about Cara Noir in another episode, because I'm sure that we'll be able to get him on at some point and chat all things Lucha and Cara, and
He'll have some stories.
I'm
for
sure
sure.
he will have some stories. He does like to talk. He's got a very big chicken laugh, but I'll let him discuss that another time. So what else do you want to talk about? What else is going on in Lucha?
Do you want to talk about the Triple L show?
I mean, we can talk about the Triple L show. Might be a little bit harsh. Connor sat right here. He was on the show.
No, I only saw a horse.
That is true. He did wear it. You wore a horse mask, right?
I was a horse man.
Why were you a
popped
horse?
me so much, honestly.
I was Bobby Champagne Jr.'s steed, as well as his bard.
Okay,
Sure.
So,
Of course.
So Darcy,
Why won't you be?
Explain to our listeners, because I am not familiar with this whole Witcher craze.
Neither am I.
Well, there you go.
You've killed it.
You weren't
Wow.
familiar with it.
Dead to me.
Apparently Bowman wasn't familiar with it, but Bobby Champagne Jr. was very familiar with it. So why don't you lay the table on what this was?
So, I don't know, they put out this promo to hype the match, and it was Bowman in a forest, topless, because he's always topless, with Bobby Champagne Jr. wearing a Witcher-esque wig, and Connor with a little ukulele thing as the bard. Did this whole Witcher promo, and then on the show came out to toss a coin to your Witcher. Connor had the horse mask on, as we said, and Bo was just having none of it. And the crowd was split, because most people have seen The Witcher. So everyone who had seen it was dying with laughter. And then there was just this other half of people who were going, what the bloody hell's going on? Have no idea what this is. But still laughing anyway, because it was hilarious.
It was. Like I said, I've never seen it. I don't really know it.
But you kind of got it,
But
right?
I kind of got what they were doing-ish, and I did find it entertaining, but that's more just because, the Brothers of Seduction as a team I find absolutely just amazing. Like, it's too funny. Bobby Champagne Jr., for my money, is one of the funniest gimmicks you will see on the pro wrestling scene. Definitely needs to get out there a bit more now, and hopefully he does this year. Bowman, an unbelievable in-ring performer as well. Like, really, actually, in fact, I'd say in the time that they've actually been tagging, they've probably helped each other a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
I think one of the biggest weaknesses of Bobby for a long time was his in-ring work, and then on the opposite end, Bowman, it was the character stuff. And now, where they've been tagging together for about around a year now, like, you can see like huge improvement in Bobby's in-ring work, and Bowman as a character, like, it's so entertaining. And yes, Connor, you were also vastly entertaining.
Wow.
You did a very good job of getting beaten up by both of them after the match.
I did love the bodyguard
and thus ends
gimmick.
the Brothers of Seduction's affiliation with Connor Rivers.
It does.
I'm quite excited, though, to see where you go from this. I mean, we've had little chats about where we think it should go, where you want it to go, but I think you left at the right time where you don't want anything to get stale, you know, and you've improved so much that you can now go on and do what you want to do for a bit. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, no one wants to listen to us talk about Conor Rivers for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But no one really knows who you are, mate.
They will though. They will.
Well, they maybe one day. And when you're famous, we'll talk about it.
What now?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah.
Okay, right. Anyway, what do you want to talk about?
Were you just plugging her?
He was.
She's got a bum leg.
At Darcy's home PW.
Wow. Anyway, well, we've spoken about that match. So, like, as we were talking about earlier, they actually faced the New Blood, who we mentioned earlier, along with their new tag partner Mark Rowe, who was having his first ever match.
Was that his first match?
I'm pretty certain it was, right? Yeah,
Oh,
it was his first ever
well.
match, and I took it upon myself as a locker room leader at Lucha. You know, not my words. I thought I'd give the boys some encouragement right before their match.
I was going to say, is that why they lost? Where they didn't lose?
No, they won. They won their match, and I think that's down to the words I gave them.
Or the fact that
I went up to them. Well, first I saw Mark, and he was wearing, I believe it was white tights. Oh, yeah, you were there. Connor was actually in the vicinity when I said this. So I went up to Mark and I said to him, "You nervous?" He was like, "Yeah, a bit." Then I saw his white gear, and I've gone, "Oh, you're wearing white?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool. Don't shit yourself. You won't be able to hide it." He went quite pale when I said that.
No.
But then, I thought I'd make it up. I didn't want him to go out there too nervous. So, like, right before him and the other boys all went out to the ring, I gave them all a thumbs up and, just told them all, have fun and just don't be shit.
That's literally what you said to me for my
That's what he says
debut.
to everyone.
But you said it.
Well, it's good advice, right?
I was shitting myself.
You don't want to be shit.
Shit myself, right? Go like at the top of the stairs. I can't remember what show it was. I think I'd been training 3 months, and I wasn't even wrestling. I was taking like one spot with.
Yeah, you were coming out with us.
Yeah, with
you were our new manager.
Ronda Rowdy.
Ronda Rowdy,
Throwback.
the most original name in all
That was
of...
Greg. Greg was like, "Yeah, you're on the show." He goes, "You got a name?"
I find it hard to believe
Ronda Rowdy.
that Greg Burridge gave you the name Ronda Rowdy.
Oh, come on. Yeah, and you went, yeah, because I was just like thinking about everything, and it was nothing. I had like nothing to do really, and you were like, yeah. So most importantly, don't be shit. Right, music hits, let's go. And I was like, oh my god,
It's good advice. And were you shit?
no, I was
Right,
amazing.
well, there you go, see? It's all thanks to Kosta. So, word of advice to all young up-and-coming wrestlers out there who might be listening to this. If you're never in the locker room with me, listen to my words now. Just don't be shit. Just don't
Go
be
to
shit.
a commercial. Maybe though, it was because the Young Blood were accompanied to the ring by AEW recent signee Anthony Ogogo.
They were. The former Olympic bronze medalist, Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a bit starstruck. I was sitting next to him like, oh, it's Anthony
Starstruck.
Ogogo.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, is he that famous?
Maybe he's just...
No, I'm only ribbing. Mate, Anthony Ogogo is a great guy. So I actually got to
He's
chat
very
with
nice,
him.
isn't
No,
he?
he's lovely dude. Actually gave me a lift to Romford once.
Oh my god, you've got him doing your errands
Yeah,
as
I
well
know.
now.
Mate, so yeah, everyone gives me lifts. I don't do driving, but no, he's a lovely guy. Got to have a good chat with him the other day. I think actually the last Lucha Britannia show, the one in January, I think that was actually his first ever experience of Lucha Britannia live. Yet to find out what he thought.
Maybe we should get him on.
We should get him on. He would be
He'd be really
an
good,
interesting
actually.
one to talk to. But yeah, he was in the corner of the New Blood as he trains with them regularly in a lot of private sessions with Greg Burridge, and Anthony Ogogo now signed to AEW. AEW. Well, okay, well here we go. Fantasy booking. Anthony Ogogo. Let's say next week he turns up in AEW. What do you want to see him do?
God, I don't know.
Yeah, you're on the spot. Who do you want to... Okay, he's going to come out, he's going to punch someone. Who do you want him to punch?
Jimmy Havoc.
Ouch.
Because Jimmy Havoc's going to beat the shit out of him, and I'd love to watch that. I'd like to watch Jimmy Havoc.
So what you're saying there is you want to see Anthony Ogogo get the shit kicked
No,
out of him by Jimmy Havoc?
I'd really like... I love Jimmy Havoc anyway, so I'd like to just see...
You just want to see a fight.
Yeah.
Is what you want. You
that's
just
what
want
I want.
to see a boxer fight the king of the death match himself.
Would that not entertain
That would be
you?
entertaining. That would be good. I would enjoy that. I can tell you what I would rather see.
Go on.
I would rather see Anthony Ogogo turn up in an AEW ring and punch Kip Sabian in the face.
Oh, of course you would.
And the reason being, and I love Kip Sabian. Anyone who knows me knows that Kip Sabian is my brother from another mother, Kost life. But Kip Sabian is also a little bitch.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why.
That's so unfair.
Because he mooches my network password.
Oh, does it? Still?
Yeah, still. He's off making big boy money.
Oh,
and he
Kip.
still uses my password, my account. He should be paying for my network.
We're going to have to Penelope Ford
Yeah.
and have a little word with her.
Oh, she's lovely. Met her a little while ago. She's
Yeah,
a lovely
she
lady.
is. Very
Welcome to the
nice.
family. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'd like to see. But no, Anthony Ogogo will, eventually he'll get to the big stage of AEW, and I'm sure he'll do great things. So going back onto the topic of the London Lucha League show, what else stands out? What else do you remember?
I remember Malik drop kick in the face off Rebel Kinney in the first match.
That was Tengu's International Chaos match, which featured Malik, Tengu, Buffalo Soldier, Rebel Kinney, Ryan Snyder, Kyubi, and a newcomer to the London Lucha League, Chris Panzer.
Who's PWG champion.
PWG? Is that not something...
It's absolutely not PWG, is it?
No, it's not PWG.
It's absolutely
PWG
not.
is not what he's the champion of.
Oh my god.
He's the champion from the Philippines. I
Just,
believe. Am I right?
you
Yeah,
kinda-
I'm right. PWR.
Just,
Get your letters right,
There's
Darcy.
so many W's and everything.
Right.
Even at
Well, it wasn't
Darcy
a
saying
W, though, was
PW.
it? It was an R.
Yeah.
You said G.
Shut up. Right, Chris Panzer, yeah, he had some fans in the audience as well because they were screaming in my ear.
He did. Like, they were very loud. Like, very, very
they?
loud.
I was impressed. Like, he did that little, he did a spot with Tengu. And obviously, I think they wrestled in the Philippines together before.
I would imagine so.
And yeah, I really liked that. I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah,
good.
very impressive in his debut. I think all the performers in this match did particularly well. I believe Tengu actually got the victory, though. And that, at the end of the day, that's what counts.
It is. And it was his sort of challenge, wasn't it, anyway? So.
It was.
Yeah.
Let's talk match 2. One of my favourite matches of the night. Why are you laughing?
Oh, just Boris.
Big bad Boris Steele. The
Big old
unit.
Boris.
The unit.
Unit.
He is a walking building
He
without
is.
windows.
Do you know, he pinned me once and I couldn't breathe.
That doesn't shock me.
I literally couldn't.
He is just all brick.
When you think like wrestler, there he is.
Yeah. So
That's him.
Greg said this a lot of times. He wants wrestlers to look like they should be an action figure. And Boris Steele looks like an action figure.
He's ready-made.
He's literally a ready-made action figure. And, well, he came out and he wrestled member of Evanly United and current tag team champion or co-holder of the tag team championships, Danny Reckham. And so I put out a thing on Instagram a couple of days before the Lucha League show, picking like all my predictions for who would win the matches. And I predicted that Boris would win, and I also added a little caption underneath just saying, if you like murders, you will enjoy this.
And you weren't wrong.
And I wasn't wrong. I'm never wrong. Look, we'll know Costa's always right.
Oh, God.
Anyway. But yeah, it was an absolute murder. He gave him what can only be described as the most brutal German suplex I have ever seen in my life.
I don't know how he got up from that. That was because he's young, I guess. If I took that, I would literally probably be dead.
What do you call them? You know the little fortune teller things made out of paper?
Oh, the origami.
Yeah, he was
things.
folded up like one of them. It was bowling shoe ugly in the words of Jim Ross.
Oh, yeah, his neck was... That's why we bridge.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Danny Reckham after that match. I asked him how he was, and he said...
He just dribbled.
He just made a weird sex noise. So yeah, that's Boris Steele. You know, if you've not checked him out yet, come down to a London Lucha League show and make sure you do, because I mean, if he keeps going on the tear that he's going on, he could be a future London Lucha League champion at some point.
I am going to put that clip in the Darcy Stone show on repeat. So
Of the German suplex.
yeah.
Wow, that's very mean.
I know.
Considering how injured you are right now.
Yeah,
should
but
you
I
be
can
poking
laugh.
fun at people getting potentially injured?
Yes, because I'm bitter.
Ah, right. And they say I'm the bad one. So, moving on from that, Danny Reckham, who had just lost that match, was then joined in the ring by his teammates of Avonlea United. And they defended their tag team championships in a rematch from the previous month, I believe, or the previous show anyway, against Phil Fiction and Bulletproof Arthur. What did you think? What happened? What went down?
Well, first of all, I'm glad they had the rematch because it's their first match started off really well. And then, unfortunately, injuries do happen. And they had to cut it short. So I'm glad that we got to see this sort of face-off. I mean, there was a lot going on. That match was quite long. A lot of spots. And I kind of lost track halfway through. But I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Just, I need to watch it again, really, to properly dissect it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
What
I
did you
mean, I
think?
agree. I'm glad Phil Fiction and Bulletproof Arthur managed to get their rematch because, as you said, the last time they all squared off. Unfortunately, Harry Payne did get hurt and the match had to be called early. And yeah, I mean, it was a good back and forth match. Still some good spots in the match. Avonlea United retained the titles. And yeah, I mean, I'm just going to throw this one out there as I've actually been in talks with Avonlea.
Of course you have.
Every good football team needs a manager. And I've already got the big brown coat, the hat, the cigar ready to be stood on the sidelines,
Yeah.
guiding them to
Who's
where
your
they
favourite
need to
football
be.
team? Do you watch football, Kosta? Yeah.
Well, Greece won the Euros in 2004.
Right. Brilliant.
Which is a pretty big deal, so my people tell me.
Outrageous.
No, I have a team.
Connor, do you watch football?
I do.
Who's your favourite team?
Arsenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Are you?
Yeah.
Good. If you're Tottenham, you're not welcome.
No.
Okay.
Think again.
Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, though.
It's not as bad as Tottenham.
It's not as bad as...
To any of
him.
our listeners who might still actually be listening, we're going to stop talking about football now because it's boring.
Yeah, me and Connor are
shit.
going to finish this
We
after
will.
the podcast.
Well, speaking of finishing this, that's actually not a very good segue at all, if I'm honest with you. But basically, the next match was Murdoch versus Tarquin. So I thought this match was actually going to be quite interesting because you've got Tarquin, a guy who has been around the London Lucha League. I don't know if he's been there since day one, but pretty early on. He's definitely been here for a very long time. Yeah. And he has been pretty much hated since his debut and hasn't showed many redeeming qualities until teaming with a certain somebody who we'll be talking about in just a little bit. So bite your tongue. But yeah, so he's recently kind of become a quote-unquote good guy, but he's kind of battling with that a bit because, he's a Tory.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, he was in the ring with a newcomer to the London Lucha League, a guy called Murdoch. And, yeah, what did you think of this match?
I'll be honest, I couldn't really see it because I had someone standing in front of me. So I can't
And you didn't jab them with one of your crutches?
I mean, I did. And then in the end, I went, sod it, and I took my chair to the stage and sat there instead. But I feel like it was quite short for some reason.
I disagree. I thought it was quite long.
Oh, did you?
No, so so for me with this match, it was good, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, if that's the right way of describing it. It was just,
Yeah.
I was expecting more entertaining, funny spots, as I guess is the best way of describing it. But having said that, I can really appreciate both of these guys, like especially a guy like Tarquin, who's mainly known for his ability to talk and being a character. Like, he really went out there and like tried to like put on like a really good match. And
People forget that he can actually wrestle.
Yeah, people forget that he is a wrestler as well, and he wanted to remind people of that, and so hats off to them for not relying on, I suppose, the crutch of just always being the consummate entertainer in terms of just character work. And then Murdoch as well, new character. It's going to take a little bit of time to kind of develop. a rapport with the audience, I guess. Like they already hate him, which is great.
Yeah. Just needs a little bit fine tuning, maybe, to.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good at getting people to hate him, which I suppose.
We don't know why we hate him, though. We just do.
We don't know why. No, I mean, I have an idea of why, and that idea is that I think some people might be aware that he refers to himself as my protege.
What?
Yeah, he's calling himself Kosta's protege. Did you not know this?
No, I didn't.
In fact,
now I hate him.
In fact, hang on.
What's
I'm
happening?
wearing his t-shirt right now. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I do actually like those t-shirts.
No, they're very, very comfortable.
Really
You should go and buy one. He gave me one for free. Oh,
weirdly, I was wearing my Tarquin t-shirt on the day. So, yeah.
Well, I wasn't wearing this on the day. I can't remember. But no, I'm wearing it now. But yeah, he's calling himself my protege, which I think he's doing just to get hated even more.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
Which seems to be working for him, so more power to him. But, you know, like I said to the new blood, you know, just don't be shit. Because especially if he's calling himself my protege, better not be shit, kid. But no pressure. So next match, we had Anarco Montana from Chile, I believe he's from Chile.
Yeah, from Chile.
Versus Callie Gray.
I really like Anarco. I think he's fantastic, and Callie Gray has sort of when I saw him like a year ago or so when he was on it, he was sort of didn't really stand out on the shows, and like watching him in that match, I could see that he'd improved so much. I really enjoyed that match actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I agree.
He held his own against Anarco very much.
So, considering by this point in the night, like, I was fairly tipsy. I had partaken
Abusing
in...
that 5 for £20,
yes,
5 beers for £20.
Well, K-Rod at the bar was hooking me up.
Shout out to K-Rod.
Big shout out to K-Rod. Big K-Rod is your hookup, holler if you hear him. But yeah, so no, I really enjoyed this match. And considering I was fairly tipsy at the time, it actually, like... It sucked me in, and I very much enjoyed it. I actually rewatched it yesterday, I believe. It was either yesterday or this morning. All the days are becoming a blur. But yeah, I actually rewatched it, and yeah, it was very good. They hit each other very hard, which I liked.
They did. I like that.
There was a couple of like little, you know, very minor things in there, but nothing that an audience would necessarily pick up on. But no, it was really good match. Hats off to both guys for leaving it all out there and having a great match. The next match we did speak about already, which was the New Blood versus the Brothers of Seduction. We're not going to talk about that anymore because Connor's ego will just fucking like, balloon out of it. It's a small room. But yeah, very good match. And then the match right before the main. So we have the young rookie, Aaliyah of the James. Pardon my throat. Aaliyah James versus Nor Phoenix Diana. What did you think?
I was really excited about this, obviously because she is the super rookie and she is getting her name out everywhere, and she's also lovely, really, really nice. And Diana Phoenix is smashing it in Southeast Asia with all of her wrestling. She featured on Eve recently. I interviewed her there. She's very, very nice, and they're very talented, both of them. So I was really looking forward to it. And then sadly, I felt like it was too short and it didn't really get going. So I was a little bit disappointed.
So I think to that, in terms of like the length of the match, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it was an 8-match card.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put the timing
well.
on them, to be fair.
And a couple of the matches prior to them had, you know, probably gone over their time limit a little bit. But, you know, that's part of the learning experience. A lot of these guys aren't used to having to work to times yet. So, you know, they're going to have to start getting used to that, especially now with the breaking news now of the London Lucha League becoming...
We'll get onto that.
Okay, well, I won't say what it's becoming just yet, but it's becoming something. Oh, we're going to go home strong today. But, yeah, no, it wasn't so much on them that, you know, the timing... There was just timing restraints, unfortunately, there. But for what it was, and, you know, for the time that they did have and what they did in the ring, I really enjoyed it. Aaliyah James did pick up the victory with her new submission maneuver. And
that looked nasty,
It did look nasty. She was yanking on her neck. And a little tidbit of information, you know, not
here we go.
Put myself over again, but She actually came up with that move, practicing that on me.
Right.
And it really bloody hurts.
People who are listening, anytime Kosta mentions himself or that he's helped a wrestler, take a sip of your drink.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get slaughtered. So you ever listen...
Yes,
Did you ever used to listen to the Edge and Christian podcast?
Yeah.
I'm really upset that that's gone now, because that was one of my favourite podcasts. But it made me become an even... I mean, I was already a huge fan of Christian, but he is like my favourite person. It's my dream to just sit down and talk with Christian one day.
I bet it's not his dream.
It's definitely not his dream. He's got no idea I exist. But, you know... he should do. I'm a pretty big deal. Pretty big movie star. Did I not mention I'm in a movie yet? I've only just done that now.
Oh, God, we need another
almost
hour
an
for
hour
that.
into it. But yeah, so this match was really good. I enjoyed it. And then the main event.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now, we alluded to somebody earlier who has brought out the good in Tarquin, shall we say? And that somebody is none other than Clementine. I believe you know her fairly well. Am I right?
So, my girl, Clementine. Yeah, she's... it's impossible to not like her. She's like Cassius's energy, but without his sassiness. She's just pure.
Yeah, so I'll get onto my theory on Clementine in a minute, but just to break down what the match was, because I just realised I haven't actually said
Clementine learned
that yet.
everything from me.
It was a 3-way elimination match. Clementine versus Bruno Brown versus the defending champion Callum Newman, and yeah, absolutely unbelievable match.
It was incredible. Yeah.
Bruno Brown came out giving it large, getting in people's faces. I think he shoved Clementine, got in Callum Newman's face, started talking about how his mum drives him to shows because Callum's still a child. But out of the blue, the bell rang. Bruno was still jaw-jacking with Callum. Clementine sneaks up behind him, rolls him up. 1, 2, y 3.
See you later, Bruno.
Bruno's gone.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy about
And
it.
I think everyone was shocked by that.
We were all shocked, none more so than Bruno. Who was so shocked, he had a bit of sour grapes.
A little bit.
Pulled Clementine out of the ring and beat the piss out of her, quite
Yeah.
frankly. And
Very nasty.
yeah, she had to fight from underneath for the whole match. And credit to her, because by the end of said match, we crowned a new London Lucha League champion.
Whoop whoop. And not only that, what is she, Kosta?
She is Clementine.
No, she is the first female Triple L champion ever.
And she's that too.
She is.
I knew where you were going.
Yeah,
I just wanted
you just wanted me to say it.
Because I could see how much you wanted to say it.
Honestly, I love Clementine. She's worked her absolute socks off since I think she started. I can't remember when she started training, but she was this like little timid thing, little fluff with her hair, and just like, and she's just become this wonderful person. Really come out of her shell, and she will help every single person in the gallery whenever. She's just wonderful, and she's never. I don't think she's ever believed in herself. So I'm hoping that now she has the belt, that she can sit back and relax and truly believe in herself and just keep going on to bigger and bigger things.
So my question to you is, you say Clementine is the first ever London Lucha League female champion.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's talking at the minute about how much she's earned it, and like you've alluded to that just there. When do you think was the moment that you realised, yeah, she's going to be really good? Because I'll be honest, I told her this the other day as well, and like I didn't. It's not meant as an insult at all. If anything, I'm just so happy she completely proved me wrong. Because if you'd have told me a year or even 6 months ago that Clementine would be at a level where it's like, yeah, you're really good now. Like we can put you in these bigger matches against some of the really good wrestlers that we have. I probably wouldn't have believed you. I would have thought that someone like Callum would have to literally carry her through the whole match, hold her hand through the whole match, but he didn't. Like, don't get me wrong, Callum is, considering he's a 17-year-old, and we'll get to Callum in just a bit, considering he is just 17 years old, he's the most experienced 17-year-old that I've ever met. And, he did have to guide a bit of that match, but for the most part, she held her own in there. She went toe-to-toe with him. So for you, do you think there was a specific moment that maybe the penny dropped for her, that she flipped a switch, or do you think it was just a natural like build up, or what do you think it was for Clementine?
I think genuinely it was a natural thing. Like, I remember, God, it was ages ago now because it was before I was injured, but I think it was a chaos match with her, and I was worried a little bit because we had a few spots and I don't think she'd had that many matches. So we sort of planned it around what she felt comfortable. And, you know, as we got to the bit, I thought, oh, God, is this going to go well? And it was amazing. Like, everything went perfectly. And I thought, I'm so glad because I can see that now she's got, you know, the passion and it is only going to get better. And then every single match I saw after that, there was just a little step up here, a little step up there. And then the last show when she was against Bruno in the tag match, I really saw something good.
Yeah.
She just, I don't know, maybe a light flicked on. But yeah, that's what I think.
So I don't really necessarily know when it came for her, so I don't really know when it was like a switch went off as such. Like for me, my own experience with Clementine as a person, like for a long time I chatted to her like at training as you do with most people, but I didn't really get to know her or anything like that. It wasn't until we actually went to Kendal. We did the festival in Kendal, which that's a podcast in and of itself.
Yeah, the Kendal stories.
Oh, you guys, neither of you were there for that, right?
No, but
oh my
just,
God.
if you say Kendal, everyone just goes,
In
oh,
a way,
God.
consider yourselves lucky, but in another way, yeah, you're not a part of a big thing.
I feel like I'm left out from the family.
You
now.
are. You're
It's
left
like a
out from
terrible secret.
those who survived Kendal. But anyway, so yeah, that trip, I didn't spend a lot of time with her like one-on-one on that trip, but I remember by the end of the trip where it had rained for a lot of the trip, and spirits were down, people were a bit upset and miserable, and just people were getting a bit unwell, and like tents were getting flooded, and it was just horrible. It was really, I don't want to say the whole thing was a horrible experience because I actually got some funny and good memories out of it, but in terms of like the accommodation and all that sort of stuff, it was a horrible experience. But this is just who she is as a person. While everybody else is just like, oh my God, I just want to go home. Oh my God, this is so crap. Oh my God, the rain, blah, blah, blah. She was literally going to everyone in their tents to make sure they had what they needed, make sure that they were healthy, make sure that they had food, She was being mum. She was mother
Mummy
hen.
Clementine.
And it was her, and there was a couple of other people who were very similar, like Tony Two Tops was another one who was looking after everyone. And then I can't think of who else there was. We'll talk about Kendall another time. But yeah, so she was basically like that. And that was kind of the moment I realised, like, oh my God, she is like the nicest human being I think I've ever met. But on a side note from that, I also know that deep down she's secretly evil and she wants to kill us all. And I have to say that here and now, because if I don't say it, then it will
if you disappear.
Away. Yeah, I just want everyone to know that that's my real feelings. But, you know, if she ever does kill me, you know. Like, if ever I disappear, you know it was her. Because I know her secret. She's a killer. She's evil.
I can't see that.
Nah, she's hiding it well. She threw some shade the other day.
She did.
I heard her say something shady.
Naughty word.
Yeah. I won't say what it was because we don't want to ruin the illusion for everyone. But she said like the one time I've caught her say something or heard of her saying something shady, and I was just like, see, I knew it. The mask is slipping. She just won the belt. It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, well, look what happened with Callum when he won the belt.
Well, yeah, perfect segue, because we can talk about Callum now. There you go. So, Callum, he lost the belt to Clementine after winning it back from me and Malik. Or, well, from me, but Malik was in the match, you know, it was my belt.
Drink.
But yeah, in the triple threat match, that was back in October. And it was the day before my birthday, and it wasn't a good birthday present. I lost that match.
Oh, wait.
But yeah, Callum won that match, and he became, that he was the hero. Everyone wanted him to win, and he did win. And 5 minutes later, he flipped everyone the bird and said, "I'm better than everyone, and screw you."
What a little shit.
Screw you guys. He's going home.
Yeah, and I wasn't really that surprised because he'd been put through quite a lot by you and Malik. About. It was a long, 6 months of trying to get that belt back?
That whole sort of saga, I suppose, I think it started in May, ended in October. So.
Yeah.
Maths.
So he'd had to fight through loads of people, and and then he got the belt, and he thought, well, you know what? Screw you guys. I am the champion, and I am better than every single person here.
Yeah, and you know what? When I heard him say that, I was proud. A little proud of him, my little brother, finally coming out of his shell. No, but in a way, he's right. Like,
he's got a point.
He has got a point, but at the same time, he does, and it's pot and kettle and that coming from me, but he does have to try to stay a little level-headed.
It's all
Can't
those
get
hormones.
too cocky, especially at his age. Like you said, all those hormones. Things happen as you get older, and he will soon realise, it's better to not get too cocky too soon.
Maybe this is humbling for him.
Well, yeah, he's just lost to somebody who I don't think anyone really thought was going to win. No one.
Hey, I did.
Did you? Okay, here you go. Here's the debate for you.
All right.
Did you really think Clementine was going to win, or did you just really want her to win? Because there's a difference.
Okay, actually, yes. I willed it that she would win. So
right.
But
so you really wanted her to win, but you didn't think.
I thought Bruno might actually win that, to be
Okay.
honest. So that's why I was, very surprised when he got eliminated first.
Do you want to know who I thought was going to win that match?
Is it you?
I wish it was me. It should have been me. I still not had my rematch, by the way.
Yeah, actually, we do need a rematch, don't we?
I don't need one, but I'm just saying, it'd be nice to be offered. It's nice to be thought of sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Right, who do
so
you think?
I thought that Clementine would win. Yeah.
And she did.
Yeah, she did. It's easy for me to say that now because she's already won.
Yeah.
No, genuinely, I thought that Callum Newman would win because he's my little brother and he went through a hell of a lot to win it back from me.
He did have a neck injury, though, to be honest. And Clementine took full advantage
saying
of that.
She only won because of his neck injury.
I mean, you only won because of my knee injury.
Excuse me, I won because I injured your knee.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
It made
there
it
you
worse.
go.
But she capitalised on the fact that his neck was taped up and he had been suffering. And after a few moves, I think she realised that there might be something here that I can use.
Well, I mean, she did drop him on his head for the finish.
She did, and that was
Hit
the
him with
best.
Hit him with a great move, by the way, the Unprettier, aka the Kill Switch, a move made by one of my favourite wrestlers, Christian.
Yep, there you go.
There you go. And a little side note, actually, on that finish.
Oh, God.
You know where I'm going with this?
Everyone get your glasses.
No. Well, kind of, yes, but also no. So, I'd been talking to Clementine, actually, about how because she was using the angle slam as a finish.
Yeah.
And she kind of wanted to come up with a new finish. And I was trying to help her come up with something, but I kind of couldn't think of anything. So I got in touch with... Well, I happened to actually be talking at the time, because, Messenger, you can talk to multiple people at once. At the same time I was talking to her, I was talking to another well-known female wrestler by the name of Bea Priestley.
Oh,
and I asked Bea, I was like, can you think of a good finish that you can hit on anyone if you're a smaller individual? And she threw out the Kill Switch, and I then presented that to Clementine. So drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she hit
That's
the Kill
quite a happy
Switch
one,
and,
though, yeah.
Yeah, she got the championship.
I really like the fact she's using that finisher because, I don't know, like, I feel like over the past couple of months she's really trying to find herself and where she belongs, and what she's capable of. So I'm going to say this now. I hate it when people use things like the eat defeat for a finisher.
Oh, the move, the eat defeat.
The move. And I know that she was using it for a while. So, yeah, I'm glad that she's switched it up.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'm not a fan of that move.
Yeah.
But you're talking about, her finding herself. She's now the champion.
Yeah.
What now?
Well.
What's next? What does she do?
Well, Aaliyah James actually came down.
Yes, I forgot about that.
She came down and congratulated her, and you could see that she had a little twinkle in her eye. So Burridge, Big Daddy Burridge, said that the next show will have them two main eventing for the belt.
Interesting. Okay, so who'd you pick? Who you got?
I've got to back Clementine. I love Aaliyah, but I feel she is a super rookie. But then I think maybe because she is the super rookie, she might rattle Clementine. Maybe we'll see a little bit of that.
So you're saying
Clementine.
Aaliyah is the underdog in that match?
Yeah.
Which brings me to the point that Clementine was the underdog in the triple threat match.
That's why it's worrying, yeah.
So you think Clementine can win as an underdog, but Aaliyah can't? You're mean.
Or am I? Or am I loyal?
I don't know. I'm just saying things. But no, I don't know. I think that one could go either way.
Yeah.
I think Clementine will hold on to the belt. I reckon having just won it, she's got the taste for it now. And who knows, we might even get to see some of the real Clementine, as I call it, the evil Clementine.
Connor, what do you think?
I'm back.
No one cares what you think.
That's what we have time for.
Go on, what was it? He said he's back in Clementine.
I'm back in Clementine.
Oh, okay, cool.
More experience than Aaliyah James, especially in the Resgal. So I think that'll play a part.
Interesting.
Okay. Well then, so the two girls, Aaliyah and Clementine, are going to face for the title.
The women.
Let's talk about the two women.
2 women,
I do
please.
apologise. So they're going to be in the championship main event. What do you think we'll see, or what do you want to see from the rest of the card?
I feel like Murdoch called out Malik, didn't he?
Yes.
So that's going to be a match.
Okay, so
Big
side
mistake.
note on that one. Get ready to drink. Murdoch called
not
out
funny when you do
Malik. My protege called out my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while he was calling him out, I was actually stood on the stairs, and I could see Malik at the top of the stairs before he'd even been called out. Malik was casually getting dressed for a potential evening out, which may or may not have happened.
His £600 Armani suit.
Yeah, in his £600 Armani suit. He will not let you forget how much he spends on clothes anytime you see him ever.
And it's like 12 grand aftershave, where you can smell him before he walks in the room.
He's just mental. But anyway, so he's getting changed, and then Murdoch, who's just beaten Tarquin, calls him out, and Malik just looks down the stairs, looks at me, and I just shrugged my shoulders and laughed.
Yeah.
And then Malik slowly made his way out to the ring, and I knew just by the look on his face that if Murdoch didn't get out of that ring as soon as possible, he was in trouble.
Yeah.
Thankfully for him, he was able to swerve out of the way of a couple of Malik forearms and avoid getting hit for now. But I'm pretty certain it has been confirmed that on the February show, which is the London Lucha League February show on the 28th of February, it's going to be Malik versus Murdoch, which should be an interesting match.
That's going to be another murder.
I mean, you say that. Murdoch, he's a new guy, and I don't want to, I don't want him to underestimate Malik by any means, because Malik, on any given day, could probably kick 7 bells out of him. But Murdoch does not like to play fair. So if Malik goes in there with the mentality of a fair fight, he's probably going to get kicked in the balls.
There might be something there, yeah.
So what else? What else would you like to see potentially from a future London Lucha League show?
I'd like to see more of the Youngblood, I think.
Okay.
I don't know who I'd put them against. Maybe... What other tags have we got? We could put them with Phil Fiction and Bulletproof Arthur or something like that. That would be quite nice.
Okay, so here's a potential scenario. The Youngblood debut match as a team just picked up a win over the Brothers of Seduction, who are WrestleForce Tag Team Champions currently. Does that in any which way mean that they should be in line for a London Lucha League Tag Team title shot against Heavenly United?
I mean, it certainly means they're capable of going for it. But actually, is it... Right, so we've got the tag team match, Heavenly United, with their... Who is it? Jackson Roses, Ray Presto, and... Boris Steele. Yeah, so we've got that going on. See how that goes, and maybe we
so the tag titles are going to be... That's confirmed, is it? The tag titles are going to be defending a 6-man tag. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I think we could crown new tag team champions in that match.
I think so
purely
too.
based on based on 2 words. Boris and Steele.
Yeah. I mean, he's just so big.
He has muscles in places that most people don't have places.
Yeah. It's true.
His arm is the size of Cassius.
I reckon you could probably measure that and that would be factually correct.
Well, no, it is factually correct. I have eyes, I can see it. His arm is the size of Cassius.
I think they should just do a match and it's just a Boris versus everyone match.
Okay.
And Boris wins all the titles if he
So
wins.
I'm going to fantasy book Boris right now.
Okay.
You know who I want to see Boris wrestle?
Who?
I would love nothing more than to see Boris Steele wrestle the man I just mentioned, Cassius. I'll tell you why. Not because I want him to murder Cassius, because that would be sad. The world would be
Yeah, we
a
can't
much
have that.
worse place without Cassius, even though I can't stand him. I want to see that match because I reckon the gallery wouldn't be able to maintain the amount of twerking that Cassius would get him to do.
Oh my god. I think the ring would break.
Yeah, the ring probably would break. But yeah, that's how I'd book Boris. But you know,
I would 100% watch that. Just like the glitter and muscle everywhere.
I don't think Cassius owns enough glitter to cover Boris.
I think he'd try though, come on.
Can we stop
I'd
talking
help
about
him.
Boris's body now? It's weird. It's too
You're
much.
feeling a bit insecure.
Incredibly so. But yeah, so that was the London Lucha League show.
Yeah. Really good
in a
show.
Nutshell.
Really good
Yeah,
show.
really, really good show. Clementine is our new champion for the London Lucha League. Disco Diablo is our new champion for Lucha Britannia. New year, new lucha,
New show.
shows, new matches, new everything.
Well, we
new
have got-
podcast.
We have
Big up.
We have got a new show there, haven't we, coming out?
Oh man, she's segueing.
I
Connor,
am.
she's seguing. She's going into business
I'm
for herself
going.
over here.
Lordy, I'm
Oh
going.
my god, she stole my gimmick.
Yeah, we've got family-friendly wrestling starting up. When is
Yes.
that? Is that the 18th?
So that is Sunday the 16th of
Oh.
February. Due to how much the London Lucha League has progressed, Greg Burridge, I believe he was referred to as CEO of
CEO.
CEO. Okay, I didn't think you could be a CEO of a non-publicly traded company or
he was
anything.
wearing
but
a suit, I bought it.
he had a
Fine.
he had a very nice jacket
He
on.
did.
Always looking pucker. But yeah, so he came out during the show basically and announced that due to how impressive and all of the big moves that are happening within the London Lucha League and how impressive the roster is becoming, we need a bit of a change. So from now on, as well as on the third Friday of every month, we have the always present Lucha Britannia, as well as the last Friday of every month, which will now be specifically to the London Lucha League. There will also be a family-friendly wrestling show, which I believe is the beginning of every month on a Sunday. And the first one will be the 16th of February. Family-friendly... that's a tongue twister. Family-friendly wrestling at the Resgal. And I believe tickets are £10.
£5.
No,
Are they
no,
not?
I think they're £10. The poster says £10.
Is that what it says? Oh, Greg
Yeah.
said 5. Naughty Greg.
Naughty Greg, saying words.
Naughty.
No, it is £10 for a ticket on the door. And kids, however, to make up for that, the little blunder there, kids get in free. Can't
So,
really complain.
If you're under a certain age or really short, then
Yeah.
you're fine.
Basically, if you look like a child or can pull off pretending to be a child,
Will Big
you'll
Baby
get in
Man
for
get
free.
in for free?
Big Baby Man won't get in for free, no, because we know he's an adult. Yeah, that won't work. But yeah, Callum Newman would get in for free.
He would, yeah. He is an absolute child. Although, did you see the photo of him from like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was me that shared it.
Oh, God, I caught drink.
Yeah, have
Right.
a drink.
What else? So that's family-friendly wrestling.
So family-friendly wrestling is the Sunday the 16th of February. Then it will be Lucha Britannia on Friday the 21st of February. And then the London Lucha League is back again on Friday the 28th of February. So you're now getting so much lucha.
yes, 3 shows a month.
The best shows in the world, in London, in the retro futureverse, in your brain.
Where
in your
Cara
cereal
Noir
box.
can eat a second-hand egg.
Exactly. You
That's
never know
where
what
else are you
you'll
going to
see.
watch that?
Well, look, but there's so much variety here as well, though. Like the family-friendly wrestling, obviously, it is what it says on the tin. It's family-friendly wrestling. Then you've got Lucha Britannia, where you've got your cabaret involved as well. All of the craziness of the retro futureverse that is Lucha Britannia.
Yep.
That comes from the crazy brain of Gary Vanderhorn.
There's nothing like... If you've never been to a Lucha Britannia show, like, you're really missing out.
Okay,
You
here
have
you
to
go.
go.
Question. First time you ever went to a Lucha Britannia show, what did you think?
I was...
What was your initial reaction? Like, first match starts, what went through your head?
the first thing that went through my head was like, this is what I want to do. Genuinely, I just went, what the hell is this? This is insane. There's like
So
animals on the thing.
you'd never wrestled before that point?
No,
before seeing the Lucha Britannia show?
I had. So I'd been
Okay.
to training, and then it was the first show I'd seen at the Rasgal. And yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Like the atmosphere and just how it's so different to any other show.
So the first time I saw Lucha Britannia show, just to give a different perspective on it, I'd actually been wrestling for a few years already, and I was brought to the show by a friend of mine called Phil Friday. Well, that's not his real name, but that was his wrestling name. Wrestled on Lucha Britannia for a short while as something Mojito. I think it was Cinquito Mojito. I'm not sure. A short stint on Britannia. But basically, he brought me down and he said, listen, whatever you have in your brain of wrestling and wrestling shows that you've been to, just get rid of it now.
Yeah, leave it at the door.
Leave it outside, because that's not what tonight's going to be. It's going to be completely different to anything you've seen. I didn't have a clue what he meant. We went in there, and it was actually my first ever Lucha Britannia show was the day that they had a fire outside,
No.
and somehow we still pulled the show off. Like, okay, we came down early to help tidy up and everything. The whole building stunk of fire, but it was an amazing show, and I actually remember very vivid parts of the show. The first thing was a chaos match, as standard for most Lucha Britannia shows. I remember seeing Freddie Mercurio and thinking, wow, that is a mental gimmick. I mean, I've seen so many wrestlers do Elvis impersonation gimmicks. Mm-hmm. It was like, I've never seen anyone attempt Freddie, so that was cool.
Yeah.
And then the main thing I think I remember was that it was actually Tom Dawkins, who's now Cara Noir. It was his debut as Pure Britannico. Where he did a run-in during a match between Leon Britannico and Dark Britannico.
All the Britannicos
are commonly known as Will Ospreay and Paul Robinson. So that was a really, really cool,
very
first
good
thing
first,
to see. It was
first Britannia, yeah.
But yeah, I just remember seeing it all and just being like, wow, this is what wrestling should be. And it's just fun, it's crazy. It's like you walk in and you just leave your problems at the door, and you just get sucked into this world of just fun. And you find a lot of the people who come to these shows, a lot of them aren't necessarily wrestling fans. They're just people who want a different and crazy night out. And believe me, they get their money's worth, and they get exactly that, because there is nothing in this country like Lucha Britannia, especially in the world of pro wrestling, as far as I'm concerned.
It's almost not a wrestling show.
Well, it's not. It's Lucha.
It is.
In Lucha Town.
Hashtag This Is Lucha, hashtag Rasgal, hashtag Gary Vanderhorn, hashtag Greg Burge.
Hashtag all the hashtags. But yeah, so it's all awesome. So on that note, I think we should probably do a few little plugs.
Oh,
We've got a couple more plugs. Got to plug training.
Oh, yeah,
plug
training.
The London School of Lucha Libre.
What's training? I
What's
don't remember.
training? Yeah, well, you don't train. You got a busted leg.
Yeah.
When are you coming back?
So I'll get the
no one cares.
stupid brace.
Training is... No, go on. I'll let you finish.
Okay, I get the brace off in 6 weeks, and then hopefully I'll be back. My aim is September, but I'm not sticking to that, just in case it's not as good. But yeah.
Cool, that was a really boring story.
It was actually.
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
Yeah, really shit.
Training, right.
Yeah, training. So, London School of Lucha Libre. I'm sorry, I'm just on one. Training is, and always has been, on Mondays. All levels are welcome, from beginners all the way up. 7:30 till 10:30, and it's the same time Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. However, on a Tuesday it is for intermediate and pros, and Wednesday again all levels are welcome, and it is just £10 per
There's
session.
also a psychology session on a Wednesday, isn't there?
So Wednesday is the last, I want to say hour. The last hour of training on a Wednesday is usually specifically for psychology and promos. So
understanding wrestling a bit better and
that's a very important part of learning to become a pro. So I highly recommend going to that. As well as that, I've been instructed by a certain Mr. Bourage to plug his private training sessions, which you can pretty much book for any time.
Whenever
you just
want,
need to get in touch with him. He pretty much does them all week. 2-hour time slots. Those are £30. However, like I said, they're private, so you get a lot more one-on-one time with Burridge. which is good.
I'm not sure I understand.
Wow.
Wow, that was
really
my-
unprofessional, leaving your phone on. Wow.
Siri just picked up your voice then.
Wow. So the ever professional Darcy Stone.
So Siri doesn't understand, but hopefully you will. How much is that? £30?
Wow.
What a save!
Wow. That was... Oh, God. I need a new co-host.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you're getting replaced in a week.
yes.
Wait. But yes, £30 for private training with Greg Burridge. Just get in touch with him if you want to book any slots with that. He's Greg Burridge on Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram and
All of
hashtag. And also, I believe a certain Black Swan does some training.
On Thursday, I believe.
He does. I think they kind of... where he's so busy at the moment and stuff, you have to basically keep an eye out on his social medias, and he posts when they are. They're very intimate classes. I think he only takes a maximum of 10 to 12 people per session.
It gives you some homework to do.
You do. You get homework, Never
Very
thought
important.
I'd get homework again, but Tom Dawkins, there you go. He is ever the slave driver. He's got the cute baby, though.
Oh, so
Lovely little
cute.
baby. He's mellowed
So
out
cute.
since he's had his child.
Very much so.
But we'll talk about that when we have him on.
Another time, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the plugs. We've plugged the school. We've plugged the shows. We've plugged all of the other shows.
You plugged yourself.
Plugged
several
me.
times.
I don't think I've plugged me enough. Darcy, question.
Yeah.
Where can they find you on the socials?
I tell you what, they can find me at P. Oh no, wait, I've got
She messed it up. I'll tell you where they can find you. They
Go
can
on.
find you at Darcy Stone PW.
Yeah, that's on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook it's just Darcy Stone.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people
don't really
have
use
a
Twitter,
Facebook.
though.
No one really uses it. No one,
No.
not for their fan accounts. No one can really be bothered. No one likes Facebook.
Mine just updates
Get in
from
the
my
bin.
Insta. So my Insta I'm most on. Anyway, yeah. Where can
Yeah,
they
if you
find
want to follow her, you can do that there, or
Please
you can,
do.
get good content by following me at the Kosta _K, and Kosta is also spelt with a K, not to be confused with the coffee shop beginning with a C. Yeah, why are you sniggering? Why are you laughing at that?
Just
Why is that
because
funny?
it's just
Do I amuse you? Am I a clown?
not really. I'm
my
just
Joe
done.
Pesci
I'm done
impression.
with this podcast.
You're done. Well, we've only done one episode. You can't be done already. Jesus. Well, yeah, that'll do it, I guess. This has been Kosta K and Darcy Stone, and Connor Rivers has also interfered way more than he should have. But
Connor's been passing me the drinks.
Like
so
an-
that's good.
like an unwelcome
Like
house
him.
guest.
Oh,
You're in my house.
he's editing this. Like,
Listen,
should be
listen,
nicer.
listen. I'm the star. Which of us here has been in a Hollywood movie?
me actually.
Shut up. No one knows that. I've been in a movie.
Yeah, right.
And I've been Kosta K.
this has been the podcast.
This is Lucha Pod. Catch you next time.